This video is an overview of the CPR window. The CPR window is most commonly known as the cross-sectional view. It consists of the frames or slices in the upper right, your MPR view, which is the upper left, and on the lower part of the CPR window, we have a panoramic view. In the CPR window, you'll see a set of lines in different colors that might be a little bit confusing. So in this video, I'll do my best to explain what we're looking at. First things first, make sure that in your CPR center toolbar, the thickness of your panoramic view is defaulting to 1 millimeter thickness. In the MPR view, which is the upper left view, you have the CPR curve. That green curve is represented in the panoramic view by the horizontal line that's currently going across the upper arch. You'll also notice that in your frames, you see a tiny little green dot along those frames. That is the representation of the CPR curve, as well as the horizontal line along your panoramic view. You'll also have a set of vertical lines. Those are your cross-sectional lines. So the green vertical line is essentially the starting point, and the pink lines are the slices thereafter. The pink lines and that green vertical line are a representation of the frames that you are seeing in the upper right area. So for example, the green vertical line is slice number 51, which you see up here in the frame. If I double click that frame to enlarge it, you'll notice that it singles out that particular slice along the panoramic view, as well as the MPR view. Double click to go back to the 3x3 frames, and you'll see that the pink lines come back up. The pink lines are the slices thereafter. So, for example, slice number 52, 53, 54, 55, etc. You can always double click to any of these frames to single out the location along the panoramic view or along the arch. Double click to go back. Essentially, the horizontal green line that you see in the CPR curve is going to be the CPR line, and the blue lines and pink lines that are vertically positioned are going to be the cross-section lines. These cross-section lines default to 1 millimeter in distance. So they're jumping 1 millimeter apart. You can change the pitch of the cross-section lines by going to the upper left toolbar in the CPR window and selecting the icon that says pitch of the cross-section line. You can drop down, change it to 5 millimeters. Once I do that, the pink lines and blue lines along the panoramic view are now jumping 5 millimeters apart. You can drop down and change it to 10. Or you can set that to a custom range of anything between 0.1 to 10 millimeters in thickness. Here, you can change the amount of lines that you see along that CPR curve that are running lingual buccally or buccal palatal. You can change it to 5. You'll see that thickness of that CPR curve become more narrow. You can drop it to 7, or 11 is typically what we're working with. So that is what that CPR curve will default to unless it is changed. You can also change the pitch of what would be the CPR curve or CPR line. It defaults to 1 millimeter. You could change that to 2 millimeters, for example, and you're going to see the thickness of the CPR curve increase. You can drop down to 5 millimeters in distance and also set a custom range between 0.2 to 10 millimeters in thickness. However, for the most part, we're working at 1 millimeter distance along those lines as well. You'll notice that horizontal line or CPR curve is currently in the upper arch. So if we were working on the lower arch, for example, to do some implant planning on tooth area number 19, then we would want to bring that CPR curve or green horizontal line down to the lower arch. In order to do so, you'll first want to enlarge your MPR view by double-clicking anywhere in the view. You can move your CPR curve by picking up the anchor point that is located in the inner center of that CPR curve and dragging the curve away. You'll then want to either scroll up or down using the wheel of the mouse in order to position ourselves along the arch that we're currently working on. Again, in this example, we're aiming for tooth area number 19. And so I want to be in the lower arch, and I'm going to scroll until I see the canals of the lower teeth. And then I'm going to pick up my CPR curve, again, using that anchor point located in the inner center of that CPR curve and just dragging it and positioning it over the lower arch. You might then have to individually pick up the anchor points along the CPR curve to properly align it with the arch. It usually does a good job, but you may have to make some minor adjustments there. Once that's completed, you can double click to go back to the panoramic view with the cross-sectional views. And you can see now that the green horizontal line in the panoramic view is positioned over the lower arch. You can change the amount of frames that you're seeing on the grid. So currently we're seeing 9 frames, which are 9 slices jumping 1 millimeter apart from slice 138 to 146. But if we wish to change that, located in the upper left corner of those frames or the grid, there is an icon with a grid and a drop down, which allows you to go up to a 4x4 or down to a single frame. You'll notice that when I drop down to a single frame in my panoramic view, the yellow line is representing my current location of that single frame. If I need to angle that axis line, your yellow line will have 2 anchor points, one located on the top, one located on the bottom. You can pick one of those up and simply angle the axis line. If we wish to go back to the 3x3, simply select the drop down in the upper left icon and select the 3x3. And now again, you'll see cross-section lines and the frames. You can toggle the CPR and cross-section lines on and off by using the indicating icons. There's 2 located in the center toolbar. And if you wish to get rid of the lines that are along the CPR curve in your MPR view, those are going to be located in the upper center. If you wish to get rid of the dot in your frames, that is a representation of the CPR curve or horizontal line. That's going to be the icon in the upper right area of those frames. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our tech support team. Thank you for watching.